Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, Islamic State extremists in northeastern Nigeria kill one of a group of 6 kidnapped aid workers. The area is becoming increasingly dangerous for humanitarian workers. We hear from our correspondent in the country. Also, the sick are turned away from Liberian hospitals as medical workers keep up a pay and conditions strike in the country. The walkout has paralysed an already fragile health system. And beauty is big business in Kinshasa. We hear from one salon owner who's hoping to raise standards for her industry. Josepha Cosmetics is run by 3 sisters planning on expanding their family line globally. But first, jihadists linked to Islamic State group have killed one of 6 abducted Nigerian aid workers. The group were kidnapped during an ambush in the northeast back in July. All work for the charity Action Against Hunger. The Islamic State West Africa Province group released this video of the hostages. The kidnapping is the latest to target aid workers in the region. Sam Olakoya joins us now with more. Sam, what more can you tell me about the circumstances of the aid workers' death and what's happening with the remaining captives?
Well, it seems the aid worker was executed by shooting at very close range. And I think it is consistent with what we've had in the past, where this particular jihadist group executed some of its captives at close range by shooting. Concerning the other captives, 5 of them, we don't know the situation with them at the moment, but I will imagine that nothing has happened to them, because if at all anything happened to them, I imagine the jihadist group will have said it. So for now, I would say that it's most likely that the 5 captives are still safe.
So why are aid workers increasingly becoming targets in northeastern Nigeria?
Well, the aid workers are about the most high-profile targets this jihadist group can lay their hands on. I mean, they've targeted soldiers in the past. It never made any impact. And there may be children, but I think increasingly they are shifting their attention away from children and looking at aid workers who will provide that kind of high publicity which they need. They definitely need a lot of publicity. And the aid workers also provide a good bargaining chips for them, in terms of money, in terms of exchange of prisoners. We know quite a number of their high-profile leaders are with the military. So it's this kind of people they actually need to bargain with the governments to get money and to get back their prisoners. And of course, in the past, we've seen that happen, where they kidnap people and then we see exchange of prisoners. And of course, there are rumors that a lot of money exchange hands. But I think the Nigerian government seems to be trying to change tactics now, that you don't negotiate with them, or even if you negotiate with them, then don't go too far in terms of acceding to their demands.
Now, this all comes about a week after Action Against Hunger's offices in the northeast were shut down by the military, who accused the charity of supporting militants with food and drugs. How have the group found itself to apparently be on attack on both sides? On one hand, being targeted, being accused of this by the army, on the other hand, seeing its staff being targets of kidnappers, militant kidnappers?
Well, I think it's very unfortunate for the group that within a week or thereabouts, you've closed down your operations, and then your workers who are being held captive, one of them has been killed. The fate of the others, you don't know what will happen to them. But at the same time, you have to look at the operation of this organization. It's providing food, and besides weapons, I think the next most important thing is food. The military accused this group of providing food to the terrorists. The group actually have denied this, and they said they don't discriminate in giving out food. You cannot rule out possibility that some of the food this group supplied to people, to internally displaced people, ultimately might get to the terrorists, because sometimes the terrorists do attack people, attack communities, and go away with their food. So it's quite a difficult time for this group, and I think just how it will end is difficult to say. They've closed down the operation, and then they are mourning the death of one of their workers as we speak.
Thanks very much, Samuel Okoye, there for us in Abuja. Now, patients are being turned away from hospitals and others have been discharged early as thousands of health workers keep up a pay and conditions strike in Liberia. Unions say that they tried to negotiate for months before walking out this week. Now they say that they'll be staying away until their demands are met.
Liberian hospitals are currently desperately empty. Thousands of health workers are on strike, protesting against delayed payments and poor working conditions. Mothers and their babies are forced to wait outside hospitals.
I'm here to get medical treatment, but the government does not want to pay the workers, so they won't look after us. We are sitting here and our children are sick. We can't go inside the building.
If anything happens to us right now, the government will be responsible. The nurses are not helping us because they're not getting paid.
Union officials said they had been negotiating with the government for 3 months before launching the strike. The finance minister said he was doing everything possible to clear salary payments that have been backlogged. But unions say the strike is not only about wages.
The strike action is bordered on the issues that have to do with the lack of medical supplies and laboratory supplies in the various hospitals across the country, wherein patients come to the hospitals and we are not able to treat them, give them the medications that they need.
Some angry patients blocked a road in Monrovia. Liberia's healthcare sector has been through difficult times. It was hard hit by the 2014 Ebola outbreak. It lasted 2 years and killed more than 4,800 people, including more than 150 medical workers.
Well, Algeria has further distanced itself from a generation of leaders that long wielded power in the country by jailing several figures from the ruling elite. The brother of former President Abdelaziz Bouteflika was amongst those sentenced to 15 years for conspiring against the army. Haxi Myers-Belkin has more.
These images were shot last May. They show Said Bouteflika handcuffed and preparing to face a judge the day after his arrest. 4 months on, the brother of Algeria's deposed former president has been found guilty of conspiring against the state and undermining the military. Abdelaziz Bouteflika's younger brother effectively started taking the reins of the country in 2013, when the president's health began rapidly deteriorating, and Said became a powerful yet secretive figure in Algerian politics. In April, rolling anti-government street protests forced the president's departure. Said was arrested soon after. On Wednesday, he was convicted at a military court alongside 3 other figures from the old guard, 2 former intelligence chiefs, Generals Mohamed Medien and Atman Tartag, and also a woman, Louisa Hanoun, former Secretary General of a political party with close ties to the Bouteflika clan. All have been sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Well, in DR Congo, beauty salons have sprung up all around Kinshasa, so it can be hard for their owners to make their business stand out from the crowd. One that has done so is Josepha Cosmetics. Created by 3 sisters, it's one of the most well-known pampering spots in the Congolese capital. Thomas Nicolon sent us this report.
Bonjour, bienvenue chez Josepha Cosmetics.
Josepha Mutund is an ambitious woman. At just 26 years old, she's already running her own beauty salon in Kinshasa. In just 4 years, she managed to make her business one of the most successful in the Congolese capital.
Josepha Cosmetics was the first salon in Kinshasa to meet international norms, both in the quality of our services and what we offer to clients. My ambition now is for Josepha Cosmetics to grow, to open new shops everywhere in the world, and most of all to create a brand of Congolese cosmetics, which could be the African L'Oreal.
Right from the start, Josepha worked hard to give her salon a top-of-the-range reputation in order to attract and retain customers.
I couldn't find any other place to get my hair and makeup done properly. I must say, everything is better here.
Josepha Cosmetics is a family business. These three sisters have been working together for the past 4 years, facing many an obstacle in a country where women innovators have a hard time digging in.
Conditions are hard. First of all, it's difficult to find funds in order to start a business. It's complicated because banks ask for guarantees that we young people can't bring to the table. But I'm proud to contribute to Congolese economy.
With her own brand of cosmetics and accessories, Josepha now wants to expand and open shops outside of Congo. It's her own way of exporting DRC abroad and helping the country regain its prestige internationally.
Bye-bye.
And finally, a little story about Archie and the Archbishop. The UK's Prince Harry and his wife Meghan took their 4-month-old son Archie to meet Desmond Tutu at his foundation in Cape Town on Wednesday. It was the royal baby's first ever public outing. 97-year-old Archbishop Tutu, who won the Nobel Prize in 1984 for his role in opposing apartheid, and his wife Leo welcomed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on their first official family tour. Harry also heads to Botswana, Angola and Malawi alone on this 10-day tour of the continent. Well, that's it for Eye on Africa. Thanks for joining us. Do so again. Take care.